So when this thing turns, now it should be recording.
Now we're recording?
Yeah, when this thing is red and it says stop broadcast.
So we're just going to follow up on the first lesson that we did last weekend on the AutoHotkey, and we're going to log into Facebook with the click of a button.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to try to download AutoHotkey.
Right.
Let's do this.
So we'll go to Google, type in AutoHotkey.
Find the second one, the course.
I
think we should follow up like we did it last week. So pretend that we're in a library.
What?
Remember we didn't download?
Oh yeah, right. So you don't want to use the installer.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to other versions, and you're going to download this thing. It says binary, and click on Unicode 32-bit. Wait for that to download, and then you'll get this zip folder with an executable inside. Just drag it onto the desktop, and you're done. So then you just double click it and hit run. They'll ask you if you want to create a sample script. Hit yes. And this is the list of instructions. And this bit at the top is just comments. It gives you helpful information. Same thing here at the bottom. Anything preceded by a semicolon is comment.
So ignore.
Right. And then this bit in the middle are the actual instructions. So, as we explained in the previous video.
Yep.
So now, do you want to just get to it and start doing the Facebook thing?
Yep.
So the first step is when we push a button, we wanted it to start a browser and have it go to Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm. So essentially, I think you may want to basically do the action of going to the browser, then going to www.facebook.
You mean do it without the script?
So basically,
we can show what it will do. So it'll go to Facebook, and then it'll type in
card notes 123
gmail.com
and fake password.
So it'll then type in fake password, and it will click that login button.
And we'll log in, and then it will take us to our profile.
And so then we'll go to...
Yep. Bam.
So that's the goal.
Yes.
That's what we want the script to do.
Yes.
So now we're going to take it piece by piece, and the first piece will be having it go to Facebook.
Yep.
And do you have a preference for which button combination?
How about we do Shift and F?
Okay.
Shift and F.
So what is, I think Shift is just Shift, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that's right. So what I do then, I'm not sure what the shortcut.
How about we do the letter F? The letter F.
Well, I think it's useful to know, to explain to people what to do when they don't know something.
Okay.
So if you don't know basically these little things here, like the exclamation point and the caret, are nicknames for these special keys like Control, Alt, Shift. They all have special shortcuts, and I don't remember what the shortcut is for Shift. I'm not even sure if it has a shortcut. So what I do is I just go to Google and I just type in AutoHotkey or AHK Shift shortcut. And you can see that other people have already asked that question. So then I just click on something, I hit Control F for find, type in Shift, and there we go. So there's the nickname for Shift. So it's very important to know how to find the answer when you don't know what the answer is off the top.
Because of course Google is your friend.
Right. That's one of the major things that programmers do, is they spend their time Googling stuff. So now I know that the shortcut is plus. So just to make it Shift F, we're going to do plus F. And I think I'm just going to type that like that. And then
we have to remember.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
So I'll just type in run facebook.com and hit Control S to save it.
And we need to find our icon.
Right.
And make sure it is running.
So it's not running right now. So I'm going to minimize this, double click it again, and now you see in the bottom right that icon, which means that it's
running now.
So now if I hit Shift F, it should start Facebook.
Bam.
There we go.
Automatic.
Right. And so now, because we were already logged in, it just automatically brought us to this home page. So the next step is
log out.
Right, so that we can practice how to log in.
Yep.
Okay, so the next thing is, well, we notice that when you log into Facebook, it's automatically ready to accept input in the email field. So what we'll do is we'll just wait a couple seconds for it to load, and then we'll have it start typing out the email address.
Do you want to show what happens when we automatically go to Facebook and tell it to start typing and then do it correctly?
Yeah, good idea. So what we'll do is, so right now this command is only one line. We're going to turn it into a multi-line command very simply by bringing that to the next line and then telling it where the commands end. So when you type return, that tells it that that's where the instructions end. So the next thing we're going to do is we want it to type out the password, and send is the keyword that...
Can you explain what send is?
Yeah, so send is just an instruction to AutoHotkey that says, whatever you see to the right of send, I want you to type it out on the keyboard exactly as it's written. So if we type in send heart...
Before you go on, how would I be able to look up that command?
Good question. So you could just Google it. You could just type in AutoHotkey send command.
No, I mean, what if I didn't know what the send command was? How would I look it up?
Are you saying if you wanted to know how to do it, but you didn't know what command would do it? Yeah, so then what you would do is you type in AutoHotkey type out text. So if you wanted to have it typed out text, basically just type in the name of the program you're trying to use, AutoHotkey, and then you type in what you want to do into Google, and just click around on stuff and see what mouse wheel doesn't work.
I didn't think the mouse works.
So basically just keep Googling. There. So if you just type in AutoHotkey type, it's the very first result, and it says sends simulated keystrokes and mouse clicks to the active window.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. And an active window is just like what we have here. So right now, Chrome is the active window, and now I'm switching it so that now Notepad is the active window. That's what that means.
So the active window is essentially the page that you're currently working on.
Exactly.
So we know that www.facebook.com is going to be our active window. So let's see what happens when we save this command.
Okay. So hit Control S.
Remember to reload.
Right. So you have to go, every time you update the instructions, you have to right click on the icon and type and hit this button here where it says reload this script. All right. So then let's try it again. Shift F.
Yeah.
So nothing seems to have happened. And I think the reason is that the computer is very fast.
Super fast.
It's really so fast you can't even imagine how fast it is. And what that means is before this page has even finished loading, it has already typed out those 4 letters. And so because it typed them out so quickly, it never really got to the point where it could type them out over here. So what we'll do is we'll have it wait a few seconds. And I'm trying to remember what the command is. I think it's sleep.
Do you want to Google it?
Good idea.
We can teach people how to do it.
So what you do is we want it to wait. So we just type in the name of the program, AutoHotkey, and we say what we want it to do. We want it to wait. And you see that first result tells us how to do it. Sleep. And then we just look for the examples down here. So you see sleep, comma, 1000 gets it to wait for 1 second. So that's in milliseconds, 1000 milliseconds. So I type in sleep, comma, and we'll just have it wait maybe 3 seconds. Yeah, that's a good one. So I hit Control S to save it.
Reload.
Right click to reload. And let's try it again. Shift F. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. There we go. So now we want it to type out the full email address, cartnotes123@gmail.com. Just copy that. There we go. Save.
Reload.
Reload. Control F. 1 Mississippi.
1, 2, 3.
There we go.
There we go. So this is the very first step that we've done.
Yeah.
For Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And we just automaticize. Is that the word? Automaticize?
Automated.
Automated. Yeah. Automated. The very first step.
Right.
The next thing we want to do is we want the tab button so that it can go to the next box.
Right. So when I hit tab now, it goes to the password box.
So
what we'll do is we'll just
search on Google.
Right.
How will you search for this?
So I would type in AutoHotkey send tab. First result. Control F. Type in tab.
Keep searching.
And so there's table. There we go. Tab. And it's, you see that it's in these curly braces.
Highlighted. There we go.
So copy that. And we could just put it right here after the email address, but I think it'll be a little bit neater if we have it on another line. Do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we may as well type in the password, which was fake.
Whoops.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So there's your...
error.
Yeah. So the password has a capital F in it.
So that
so
is
when
a
we're
problem.
typing, yeah. So when we type in Shift F to type out the password, which is fake password, it is running the script.
Because the system is automated that whenever we click Shift F, is going to take us to Facebook.
Right.
How about we change the script to Shift Z?
I would, well, what I would do is I like to use the F keys, F1, F2, F3, because those are keys that I don't really use for anything else.
All right, then let's go.
Yeah, so I'm going to change it to F1. F1.
Remember, we're still capital F.
Right. Well, I exited the script. It shouldn't be running anymore. There we go. Control S. So now it should be. Oh, so this error message is saying send requires at least one parameter. The program will not exit. If you look here, we have this send command, but it doesn't send anything. And so it's complaining that if you use that send command, you have to specify. So we'll just type out the password, which was fake password. We will reload the script, and let's try it out. Oh, right, it's not Shift F. Right. I was typing Shift F instead of F1.
We have.
There we go.
Bam, automatic.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. So now we want to do tab over. Oh no, we just want to hit enter, right?
Yes. Now, how about we just click the mouse over to the login button? Now, we need to figure out a way for the mouse to go over the login button and click on it.
Well, why not just hit enter? It'll be easier.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll type in AutoHotkey, enter. Yeah. And you can kind of see same deal as tab. You just use these curly braces for the special keys.
What would happen if I write enter and I forget to capitalize it? Let's find out.
My guess is that it won't work, but we'll try it.
So save and reload.
And then hit F1. Oh, no, it works.
It still works.
Yeah.
Great. So right now we've logged into the website.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to figure out a way to get the mouse down to this icon.
So complication is, see, what is this? To complete the sign-up process. I would, well, the problem with using the mouse is that if there's any variation in where something is on the screen, it can totally mess up
your code
because it'll click in the wrong place. So for example, if you see this thing at the top, once this thing goes away, if we tell it to click right here and this thing goes away, it's going to be clicking like right here because this whole thing is going to shift up a little bit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why
it's super, super, super duper important that you be conscious of this.
Yeah, it's just a very fragile way of doing things. So what I would do is let's do this part. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Just have to do that. All right, so now
you need to figure out a way
just
to
want
get
to
to that.
Right. So what we'll do is we will search on Google AutoHotkey click. We want to click on something. Just click command, and it says it clicks the mouse button at the specified coordinates. You can also hold down a mouse button, turn the mouse wheel, or move the mouse. Here are examples of common usage. Click by itself clicks the mouse button once at the mouse cursor's current position. This clicks at the coordinates 44, 55 based on chord mode.
I think we want to use that.
Yeah.
Chord mode. So do you want to explain what chord mode is?
So chord mode, let's see what it says. Sets coordinate mode for various commands to be relative to either the active window or the screen. So basically what that means is when you're giving instructions on how to click, you can choose to give the coordinates based on the screen size. So from the top left of the screen, you can say, take 100 steps to the right, 100 pixel steps to the right, and then 100 pixel steps down. And you can start that from the top left of the screen. Or what you can do is you can say, start from the top left of the active window and take 100 pixel steps to the right and 100 pixel steps down. And the reason it can be useful to do it from the active window is if you have a window that's smaller than you don't have it maximized, but you still want to be able to click on things.
So essentially, it's really important to have that to do this on the active window because it wouldn't really matter where your active window is on the page.
Right.
What that would matter is the size, the dimension of your active window.
Right. And it would also it would be important to make sure that when you resize the active window that it doesn't mess things up. Because sometimes if you resize the active window, it can move where things are on the page. Mm-hmm. So it's just a very fragile way of doing things, but it can still be helpful. That's not what I want to do. No. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to, does it give an example? Yeah. So here are examples at the bottom. Basically, the way it works is you tell it you want to use the chord mode command. Then you tell it what thing you are trying to modify. So you can modify a tooltip, a pixel, a mouse, a caret, or a menu. We're going to use the mouse. We're going to modify the mouse coordinate mode. And then you tell it whether you want it to be to the screen or relative to the window. So what we'll be doing is we'll say chord mode, mouse, relative. It's kind of a complicated thing. So here we're going to be click on profile link. So chord mode, mouse, relative. And then we're going to tell it to click on that particular coordinate. Where were we? Cards. So the key question.
To confirm. Barnacles. Confirm your account. And we are in.
Okay. So the key question is, well, how do we know, if we're trying to click on this particular link, how do we know what coordinates that is?
Mm-hmm. How do we know?
Right. So the answer is that AutoHotkey comes with a tool that you can use to figure out what those coordinates are. And the way you find that tool is you go down to the bottom right, you find the AutoHotkey icon, you right-click on it, and you look for this thing that says Windows Spy. Right. Click on that.
I feel like a spy now.
And it says it cannot launch Windows Spy. Why not?
Hmm?
Why can't it launch Windows Spy?
I don't know.
Okay, let me try it. Oh, it's annoying. My guess is it may not be letting us use Windows Spy because we didn't install it. We didn't use the installer. So let's see if using the installer will let us use that tool. Oh, okay, that's done. There. So that's why. It's because we didn't install it before. We were using a version of the program that you could use. Right. You can use it without installing the program. Okay. So there are drawbacks. But anyway, once you have this Windows Spy working, then when I click on this other window, boom, you see all of these statistics and information about the window that we have selected. So it tells you the name of the window. It tells you where your mouse is, both in the active window and also on the screen. So there's a good example. If I have my mouse right here, then in the active window, its coordinates are 10, 12. But
where do I find that number?
So it's, you look, while I'm talking, look at this part right here. In active window and on screen. So if I move my mouse cursor right there, the coordinates in the active window are very small, 11, 9. But the coordinates on the screen are larger, 627, 339. And the reason for that is that my mouse is very close to the top left corner of this window, but my mouse is actually quite far from the top left corner of the screen. So that gives you an idea of what the difference is between on-screen coordinates and window coordinates, active window coordinates. Mm-hmm. We're going to be using active window coordinates.
So let's go back to Facebook.
Yeah. So if you look, see, this is what I'm worried about. This is what I'm worried about. Because you see how when the window size changes, you see how this portion on the left changes size. So let me give you an example. If it's maximized, look at the coordinates in the active window, 93192, right? Mm-hmm. But look what happens if we make it smaller. So suppose someone has their Facebook account like this. Now it's 639,100. That's a big difference. And what that so what that means is that if we use these coordinates in one situation, if we use the coordinates when the screen is maximized.
Is there any way that we can create the active screen in maximize mode every time we open it?
I think so. I don't know. I think you can, but let's find out. Here we go. When maximize.
There we go.
Enlarges the specified windows to its maximum size. When maximize, etc. Okay. So here. Let's try that. Copy that. And I guess we'll put it here. Oh, put it here. And
Shouldn't it be right under Facebook.com?
yeah, that might be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this. Win wait. We should do that.
What does that mean?
So win wait waits for, I think, a window to load. Waits until the specified window exists.
Mm-hmm.
So it says.
So we should win wait, don't win max.
Right. So let's do win wait. So wait for Facebook to load. Now you can choose the title that it should, of the window it should wait for, or just text. So the text here is Facebook. That's the text that we want to see in the page. So we're not going to specify the exact title. We're just going to specify that it should have the text Facebook there, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we have to comment in the. Go ahead. Here.
Yeah, that's on purpose. So if you see here, this first comma separates the main command, win wait, from this first option. You can choose this option to specify the title of the window you want to wait for. If you're not going to specify that option, you just leave it blank. And then you put another comma to go to the next option, which is to specify text that would be found in the title of the window. So up here at the top. And all of these, what these brackets mean, at the beginning and the end, is all of these things are options. So you can include them or not include them.
Every time that there's an option that you do not want to include, you still have to include the comma.
Right. So
that the program can know.
Yeah, exactly. So the program will know that you are choosing not to use that option and that you really want to access this other option. So this is the option I want to access, window text, which says wait for, let me just make sure. If present, this parameter must be a substring from a single text element of the target window. Oh, so okay. So this is not what I thought it meant. Win title is the title or partial title of the target window. Okay, so this is not exactly the way I thought it worked. I thought that win title had to be an exact match. And I thought that win text was a partial match of the title. And it turns out that win title does not have to be an exact match, and that win text is actually the body of the page, which is not what I want. What I want is to match the title up here, which says Facebook.
So that's the very first one?
Yeah, so we want to use the first option. So I'm just going to get rid of one of those commas, and now that Facebook is for the first option. All right.
So we have to save and reload.
Yeah, so let's save it. Reload the script. Forward one most relevant. This line does not contain a recognized. Oh, because this is spelled wrong.
Finished it.
Oh, it's spelled wrong. Chord mode. Oh man, I'm used to my own keyboard. You see how we keep having to go over here and right click and hit reload? That is actually a good example of a situation in which you would want to use a hotkey. So let's Google that just quickly. So AutoHotkey, hotkey to reload script. This is a hotkey that I use a lot. There we go. So Control Alt R would be to restart the script. So I just go up here, paste it in there. This will be the last time I'll have to reload there. And now I should be able to just hit Control Alt R, and it should work. So actually, let's test it. So if I hit F2 to send test, I hit save, Control S, and then I hit Control Alt R. It should work. Where if I hit F2, there it hits test. So that means I know that it's working.
All right, so essentially, I think you want to explain what this combination is here.
Yeah, so this caret, it actually explains it, I think, here, that the caret is, I believe, control, the left control button. And then this exclamation point is the nickname for Alt.
Mm-hmm.
So what this says is when the person holds Control and then Alt and then presses R, then do what comes after these four dots.
What if I wanted to make the F2 key the reload button?
Yeah, so all you would do is you just hit F2 and then hit save, Control S, and then you would, because it's still using the old instructions, you would have to use Control Alt R this one last time, and then that should set the F2 button to reload.
Perfect.
But I think that's a good example of how you would want to use AutoHotkey to make things faster.
And easier.
Exactly.
And automatized. Right. I love that one, even though it's not a word.
So now we'll just test this, the Facebook thing again. So hit F1. Actually, let's make this smaller to test the maximize thing. Hit F1. There we go. It maximized it.
Bam. Oh, but it's not typing anything because you forgot to log out.
It's still logging. Yeah. Well, the thing is that it probably is typing things. We're just not. Yeah, we're just not seeing it, and that can cause all kinds of problems. All right. Try it one more time.
So again, we have to remember that AutoHotkey is a really fragile system.
Oh, so you see, this time it didn't maximize it. And it's not typing it in. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to guess the reason.
How about we exit?
Yeah, my guess is that the reason is that it's not, that win wait is something like that. Oh, because we have, yeah, we're not running AutoHotkey on that. Hit F1.
Do you think capitalization matters? Welcome to True is Lowercase.
Yeah, good catch. Good catch. There we go. There we go. All right.
So we know that AutoHotkey is a super fragile system. So if we do something as simple as put in a capitalized word where it doesn't belong, it's not going to work.
Exactly. So it can make your life a lot easier, but you have to be very careful. Otherwise, it can start causing all kinds of problems.
Causing all kinds of problems.
So
that little bastard.
Yeah. All right. So the next step is we wanted to click on this link right here. So we're looking at the inactive window part. And when it's over here, we'll say 1492.343. So
it's actually 3493.
Yeah, but 1492 is Columbus.
Oh my God.
So the next thing we do is we want it to click. And I don't remember the way that you write the instructions. Let's see.
Yes.
So I'll just Google it. All right, so there's no comma after click. You just put the first coordinate and then the second coordinate. Just type in click, 1492.343, hit save, hit F2 to reload, and hit F1, and let's see if it works. So it didn't maximize it.
We forgot to log out.
Yeah.
All types of problems.
Oh, I think there we go. It automatically, it waited for us to log out, and then when it saw the welcome to Facebook thing, it went there. Oh, so the next thing is it's not waiting until it's logged in to click there. So it's probably clicking a little bit too early.
So we have to create another line of code to tell it after you logged in, you need to wait and then go in the profile.
So a quick way to do this would say just wait 5 seconds. Let's just see if that works.
Reload.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. And
I think we should wait a little bit longer, just because we have a kind of slow internet.
Well, it doesn't seem to be. Work on mouse route. Quick.
Did maybe we typed the chord mode command wrong?
I think it was right. Let's see. No, that's not my one. Get to this. No.
Slow down. Right here.
Hotkey.
Order mode.
Yeah, I think that's right. So usually what I do in this situation is I just take out the piece that I'm having trouble with and try to test it by itself. So F3 will do chord mode, mouse, relative, click, 92, 343. Turn. Save F2 to reload. Now let's try it by itself.
Do we need to write reload every time for every script?
Do you need to write it?
No, actually, never mind.
Okay, so that's done. So now what I want to do is hit F3. So you see where it moved the mouse. It moved the mouse all the way over here. That's not right. So why would it do that?
Show me that again.
So if I click, my mouse is over here on the left. If I hit F3, it moves it all the way to the right. But we want it to move up here. So my guess is that we might have these things reversed. Maybe we have these things reversed. I don't know what. Let's see. F2. No, still messed up. So why would it be doing that? Oh.
What?
Well, now the coordinates are totally different. Now it's not 14. Now it's 946. 94687. All right, let's change it to that. 94687. Save, reload, 3. There we go. So that time it worked. So I don't know why it was different before, but that kind of shows you.
I think maybe it's because when we got down the coordinates, we were working the active screen, but it was minimized.
What do you mean?
Our active screen wasn't in maximize. It was
I think
minimized.
It was.
Guess we're gonna have to look at the video again.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think it shows you how AutoHotkey is. You have to be very careful with it because it can be unpredictable. All right, so now we've updated that. Let's just try it from scratch.
Let's go. XX everything.
Oh. Okay. F1. There we go. Okay, looks good.
So far, so good.
There we go. All right.
Yay!
That's pretty good to me.
I agree. Let's go back to us. I don't have our beautiful faces.
Okay. Now. What is this? Go away.
No idea. So I think we did good today.
Yeah.
I think we did good today. So now, following this video, you can basically create a whole script to just log into Facebook. You did in the Matrix.
Yeah. I mean, what I think it's most useful for is if you're working at an office and they have you doing work with Excel where you need to get information from Google, then you can use this script to click through the menus of Google a lot faster. Or you can have it so that when you push one button, like if you push X, it will automatically bring up Google or it'll automatically bring up Excel. So I've had a bunch of projects where I had to type stuff out where I was able to make it faster by just pushing one button. Or another good example would be, suppose you're answering emails and there's just 5 or 10 different things that you have to say to all these different emails. You can assign all of your F keys to those different messages that you would normally type out by hand. And that way, if somebody says, oh, I have this problem, and it's just one of those 10 problems, you just have to push F2 and it types out what you would normally say, and it saves you a lot of time.
You can also make it more complex. So if you're working on a project and it's just repetitive task, I believe you're working on a project where basically to fill out like parts, so that rather than like reading and scrolling down, you can create code to be able to like fill those parts and like answer all those questions that you have automatically. So I'm using this AutoHotkey program to be able to work on like really complicated Excels where I have to repeat like formulas 1 or more times. So this really saves you a lot of time. Like you can have a social life now because you'll be able to get out of the office early.
Right.
You can also use it just to get to Facebook.
Right. And it's just a good introduction to programming. It's a nice, easy way to get into it.
And we're done. High five.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.